Kura team, and welcome back to Frostpunk on PS5 console. Where have I been, you ask? Well, people, I tell you, I have been trying my absolute darndest to beat this scenario that I'm trying to beat right now, and it's not easy. What scenario is that? Well, I've been trying to do the Arks, and there's some challenges, and I think that that's part of this game. And I was kind of hoping to get a lot more done on it because Frostpunk 2 comes out in July, and I'm really keen to give it a try. I think it's gonna be same but different, judging from what I've seen. I'm very excited about it. I think it looks good. I think they're adding I think they're making it much larger than what it currently is, which I think is awesome. But we'll have to wait and see. So I've been trying these, and the thing that I learned, I think, from playing the main story is that you can't beat these scenarios without playing through them a few times and losing, because there's events that are triggered that you have to have planned for from the very beginning, and if you don't know what they are, you can't plan for them, right? So the problem with the arcs, for example, is that while the scenario says here that you need to keep the seedling arcs safe, there's also a bigger game at play, because you still need to survive the storm, and you need a lot of resources to survive the storm, and there's also another settlement to try and rescue. Now, I haven't been able to even get enough resources together for myself to survive the storm yet, but I've come really close. So I'm going to start it this time, and I'm going to see how we go, and I'm going to talk you through some of the things, and hopefully we get to the end and at least survive the storm. But I guess we'll see. I've played it about 4 times. I get slightly further every time. And I'm only playing on medium difficulty, so I'm not even playing on hard, so forgive me. So we have these seedling arcs that we need to stop freezing, and the only way to do this is with automatons, and I'll talk about that as we go through. Right, I think this is the main thing here, the factory. So it says we need to build a beacon and send a team out to get the factory, because the factory produces automatons. And I think that the key to this is getting as many automatons built as soon as possible. I think that's the absolute plan. So that's where we're going to go with this. We're gonna stop while we have a look at some stuff. So this is our little generator. We got a bunch of resources scattered about here. We've got some coal, we got some crates, we got some steel over here, and down here we've got the possibility of steel for mining, and over here we've got coal for mining. And we have these things, which are the seedling arcs, and you absolutely cannot have those freeze, because if they freeze, it's game over. So you've got 4 of them randomly kind of scattered here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the key here? Well, the key here is going to be, we can't look at research till I've built, because I was going to say the key is to have a look at research. What we'll do is we'll get people working, we'll get some things started, and when I get the research unit built, I'll bring you back for a bit of a conversation. So this episode's going to be a bit of chopping in and chopping out, because there's quite a bit to happen, there's quite a bit to get through, but you don't need to probably see it all. So what I'll do is, I've introduced you here. There's a few things I have to do, and look, nothing's going to be strange or startling. If you know the game at all and you've watched any of my previous episodes, what we need to do is we need to start getting some people harvesting some coal. We're going to need some timber, and we're going to need some steel, and we need those for research elements. We're going to need to get some tents built, and we're going to need to get some medical built. You know all this. So this is the basics. Start getting your resources. Get the generator running. Start getting some tents built and some medical built because you're going to need medical. Um, we're going to need some food, but probably not yet. We've got raw food. It is going to be a priority for later, as we'll find out later. We have an automaton, so that's fine. We can get him started on something a bit colder, like out here. We can get him on the coal down here, which is a little bit colder, so less of a worry. We'll keep the people a little bit closer to the warmer spots. And once we've got the basics together and we've got the research hub, we'll have a look at prioritizing the research, what research we need to do, probably in what order, and all of that kind of jazz. Perhaps in the meantime, laws-wise, it's adaptation. So we've got the adaptation stuff. I lost at least one game because the people got really upset with me. So I would say just consider when you're picking the laws. You will see here hope rises slightly when you've got the cemetery, but for the corpse disposal, hope will fall. So just be careful with hope and discontent with the laws. That's how you manage. You got sustained life. You're keeping the gravely ill alive but untreated, which is a rise in hope, but then a discontent, and you just end up with gravely ill soaking up the place. Just be aware of managing hope and discontent with your laws, because you can inadvertently, if you pass too many laws that make people unhappy, you can end up losing the game despite everything else running along swimmingly. So we'll talk about that as we go. But for right now, why don't you let me get on? I'll do a little bit of the basics. I'll get the workshop built so we can start having a look at some research, and I'll call you back in when that's underway. Shall I? Right. I'll see you soon. Right. Okay. So we got our beacon built, and we got our scouts, and we've been told that there's this storm coming, which we can see. We can see that there's this storm. So time is limited. We have 24 days to find the factory plans. I think pretty much this is the game limit. It tells you have 24 days before the storm hits. Essentially, you got a lot more to do in 24 days. So trust me, you don't want to muck about. So we want to get these guys out as fast as we can. This will lead on. The factory's over here somewhere. Factory plans is part of a dreadnought, I think. But we want to rush out. We want to get those plans. We want to come back because, like I said, we need to build automatons. The only way we're ever going to get enough stuff. We never get any more people, right? As you get a couple more later on, but not. You're never going to end up with like 150 people. So the other issue with this scenario is people. You do not have enough people to do what needs to be done. You have to rely on the automatons to do it, and you're going to need a bunch of them. I think possibly at least 5, maybe 6. That's what we're talking about. You need a lot. not just a few. You're going to need, a lot. So that's what I'm talking about. So we've what have we done? Well, we've got the beacon built. We had to pull some people off steel because we got a bit of an abundance of steel. Pulled a couple of people off wood for this. Food wise, I've enacted the law for soup, which they don't like, but it will become important later. Don't need a lot. It'll become apparent later, but to keep up with the food demand, you don't actually need to fully staff this building. I personally have found. So there's some things you don't need to panic too much about, and food I've actually found one of the easiest things to sort out. So that is the situation. That is where we are at. The next thing I think will be probably the next key milestone for me will be when we actually find the factory plans. So I will trudge on to getting the factory plans, and I will bring you back when I've actually found those, which actually probably won't be too many days away. So there you go. I'll see you soon. Right, so here we are at the Lost Dreadnought. Just a couple of things. So we started out here at the Abandoned Supplies and just got some resources. We then have the Broken Automaton. It's this guy. So you get an automaton for free, which is great. So he's heading back, and then we move on to the Lost Dreadnought. And the Lost Dreadnought is where it says there's a technology that you need to acquire. So this gets us the factory plans and a bunch of resources, steam cores and things. So we're going to take those, we're going to head straight back. It's really important that we get the factory built as soon as we can, as I have said. So we're chewing our way through resources. You see, we've lost 2 timber piles already, we've lost 1 steel pile already, we're working on some more timber. We've lost 1 coal pile already. We're working on the other one. So we're working our way through stuff as we can. I've built a care home, and I've shut down the food production because we don't have any raw food being produced yet. So where we are with technology is we're going into the drawing boards, because the next thing we're going to need, aside from like coal mining and various bits and pieces, is we need this, which is the hothouse. And the hothouse is what's going to supply us with raw food. Probably our most immediate danger right now, well, not danger, but we've only got 183 food, and we're going to run out of food at some point, right? What's our food consumption look like? So 40 a day. So we're consuming 40 a day. We've got a little more than 5 days. So we need to sort that out in 5 days, which is fine. Get the hothouse. We'll get this incoming automaton built on the hothouse, and that will keep us chugging along, and he will produce us a bucket load of food. That will give us time to sort out all the various other research and other needs that we have. The main need at the minute is going to be coal, so we want to get coal mining done as fast as possible, and then we'll probably move into steel, and then we'll move into timber in that order. So we're going to keep going, and when the guys get back with the factory plans and we've built the factory, we'll have a look at that. So that's probably going to be the next big milestone, unless anything else jumps in. But if it does, I'll bring you back in. I'll see you all. Right, here we are. Here's our factory building built. So I've staffed it with engineers, and this is automatons. Now, they're not cheap. 100 steel, 100 wood, 50 coal, and a steam core. And steam cores are going to be something that you're going to be chasing quite a bit of, but there are enough out there. You just need to continue to keep looking for them, which is fine. You keep uncovering them, and that's all well and good. You'll find you'll as long as you keep your scouts moving, you will find what you need. That would probably be my advice. So just keep your scouts moving, and you'll find what you need. So that's fine. So the first task down there for the factory is increase the number of automatons to 3. So we're gonna have to slap it on for 1. We have 100 steel, we don't have 100 wood, we do have 50 coal, and we've got 5 steam cores currently. So what it'll do is it'll just sit and wait until we get to 100 wood, and then when it gets to 100 wood, it'll take all those resources and start building an automaton. So we just leave it as it is for now, and it will be absolutely fine. We got the hothouse built, we've got it staffed with an automaton. That's only just happened, so that's fine. Do be aware this still needs a heater for the plants, so while you don't need a heater for the automaton itself necessarily, because it'll go and warm itself by the core, you do need to heat the plants, so that's fine. Once we start getting some raw food, we'll open up the kitchen again, which will be okay. We've depleted a few more resource piles and we're working on it, which is fine. A couple of other things you need to be aware of. We built a fighting arena to keep discontent down, and lurking back here is a resource pile, or whatever you want to call it, a resource depot. You're going to need a lot of those. So always keep building resource depots as and when you go. But I would say be careful. Bear in mind that this game is more about research and automatons than it is about building. You're not This scenario isn't about building a huge settlement. This scenario is about getting automatons built to get you enough resources to survive. So don't worry about making a large established city. This is not what this scenario is about. But you will need the ability to store a lot of coal. At least 8 or 9,000. Right? That's the kind of numbers we're talking about. So just be aware of that. Always try and maximize your development while maximizing your research, which isn't easy. Isn't easy, I can tell you. Laws-wise, where are we at? Other than the fighting arena and the care home, what do we want to talk about? Well, the factory can make prosthetics, which is great. So that'll probably be something we want to move on to next, because people are going to start suffering frostbite. You're going to start to get limb losses and things. There's a cold snap coming. So this side of the tree keeps people happy. Keep over here. This is going to make people unhappy. Just be careful about that one. And this side you can kind of use to increase hope in things. So yeah, keep an eye on things. We'll keep an eye on things and see how we go. But I think we're going to move on to prosthetics next, which has got a day and an hour until we can sort that out. So where to from here? Where's the next milestone? Oh, research wise, sorry. Research, we're into drawing boards, so we got those done. We're moving on to coal mining. So coal mining, then we're going to have to go sawmill, then we're going to have to go steelworks, then we're going to have to go coal thumper. That's going to tie up a lot of time and resources, and resource depots. So before we even get on to tier 2, what I really want to do is I want to really get those key things built. And then we're probably going to have to research bunkhouse as well. So we've got to push on with the research. So always pushing on with the research, always pushing on with the research, pushing on with the exploration, and pushing on with the development and growth. So what we'll do is we'll soldier on. I'm not sure exactly when the next one comes through. I think it's when we build the next automaton is when we get the next series of goals. So when the next series of goals do come through, which shouldn't be too far away, I will bring you back and we'll have a look at how we're progressing then. Shall I? Okay. I'll see you all soon. Yep, here we are. So we have built our automaton. And there's a couple of things to talk about. So we need to put our automaton somewhere. We haven't got any. We've got, I think, this one coal pile, which we'll slap an automaton on, which is fine. And we've got some people out here, which is making them sick. So we'll slap an automaton out there for now, because we've got some research coming through, which we'll talk about. We've got people working on the steel, so we'll get that upped. And we got some spares, which is okay. Let's not worry about spares for now. Spares are one of those things that come along. So we've now got this new goal down the bottom left, which is autonomous city. We have 21 days to employ at least 2 automatons in the coal industry, at least 1 in the steel industry, at least 1 in the wood industry, and at least 1 in the raw food industry, which we've already done. So that's 5. So just for the base goal, you need 5. I think actually you probably need more than that. I think maybe 7, really. I mean, once you've got this goal sorted, you can move them around. But you need all of these automatons doing all of these jobs at the same time to tick this goal, which is fine. One of the things I'm not clear about with this game, and maybe you guys can advise, is some of the parts of the game are triggered by you completing tasks. So you complete one task, it triggers the next task, and so on. If you do not trigger this task, can you keep going indefinitely? And I don't believe you can. I think you still have to do things in the order you have to do things, but I don't think putting a task off gives you a benefit. I think they've sussed that. Otherwise, you would just you know, you would keep going indefinitely and build up a huge stockpile, then tick that box, then you would move on. So I think that the game designers are a little bit smarter than that, and I don't think that they have allowed that to happen. So this guy here, we don't need to have people in here because we simply don't have enough stuff, so we can halt the operation on that. We've got some more resources to get before we get even close to that. You know, like I said, with these automatons, we need 100 steel. Well, we're nowhere close to 100 steel, so there's no point in rushing ahead worrying about that for now. So let's wait until we've got some more resources, which we're working on. We're not shirking our responsibilities here. We're carrying on. But get people out of coal buildings if you can, and only use them when you need to use them. Now, you can see that this needs heated. This is what the red means. It means it's not functioning without the heater, so turn the heater on. So that's fine. The hothouse is now working. We've got 16 raw food and 102 soup or rations or whatever. I'm not going to worry about switching people onto this building because this will use up my coal until we get to requiring maybe when the food gets down to like 80, which is 2 days, right? So we know we're using 40 a day. We're not going to get many more mouths to feed because we've lost one person. Presumably they, I didn't see a death, but we did have 46. Now we've only got 45 people and 1 automaton. We've added 2 automatons, so we haven't lost anybody yet. So that's fine. That's all good. We don't need to worry about cemeteries or things. So that's all right. So let's just not worry about that for now. Now, the other things is these arcs. Now you can see you've got a couple of things here. You've got this like frost symbol, which I can't quite click on, and you've got the heater symbol. Now what this means is these are in danger because they're too cold. So these are in danger of destruction as long as they've got this cold symbol. Now it starts and it winds down anti-clockwise. When the white goes all the way down to the bottom anti-clockwise, it dies. So you need to use the heaters. However, I would say, because you need a lot of coal, be very judicious about how and when to use your heaters for the arcs. They're fine for now. If you look at the timestamp across the top, you'll see that we're in day 6, and early in day 7 we're going to get a temperature rise, which I think will push us out of the danger area. So for right now, I don't see the need to burn more coal to keep these warm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this clock wind down on this because I don't think it's going to be a problem. And when it gets to maybe below halfway or even as far as a quarter left, then switch the heaters on. This is only a problem when it gets to 0. You just need to make sure you don't let it get to 0, right? It's a bit of juggling. You got to be careful, but there you go. Out in the wilderness, we're moving on. We found some resources over here. We're moving on to the Icefall Mine, which I think is pick up some resources. And you've got the snowfield and the rock formation. I can't remember, but we're going to keep looking. Always keep looking, always keep looking, always looking for resources. I think they are carrying some resources. I think I figured out how to do this one time. Yeah, here they are. They've got 270 coal and 126 steel. Okay, we're not in a burning desire for it, so we'll keep them out until we need it. We could bring them back, but every time they come back, you're eating up time, eating up more time, eating up more time. So we'll push them forward a little bit, grab some more resources, and then come back again. So everybody's busy, everybody's busy, everybody's busy, Dave, right? So that's the situation. So we'll keep ticking along, and I'll call you back in when something else changes. All right, welcome back. So I just wanted to bring you in for this. Not too much has happened. However, we ran out of coal piles, day 6, end of day 6. So we've just managed to get our first coal mine built. So that's perfect timing. We just ran out of coal exactly when we needed to build a new one. So we haven't wasted any time, we haven't gained any time, there's nothing around that kind of stuff. But do be aware that is, I mean, obviously it depends how much you get through, but essentially you've got 6 days worth of coal to get through. And that's that. So now we're onto coal mines. We've got our coal mine on the way. Research wise, we are moving into sawmill because we're going to run out of wood, and we need a lot of wood. You get through an awful lot of wood, so we're going to run out of wood very shortly. We're down to our last couple of wood piles. We've got some steel, which we're obviously going to run out of because we've only got 4 left. But we can probably hang on to steel for a little bit more. Maybe I should have done steelworks first. It's hard to say, but I want to get wood done. And the first sawmill you can usually put in around about here, and there's wood here. So that's the situation. Day 6, 6 days. Coal is all you have, so you need to have gotten yourself some kind of a coal substitute. Whether you're going for the thumper or whether you're going for the coal mine is entirely up to you. What I will say is, and I have said this before, the coal mine generates coal, right? But it doesn't generate a stockpile, so you don't need to also harvest the stockpile. Whereas a coal thumper generates a coal stockpile that you then also need people to harvest. So the thumper uses more people, the coal mine does not. So up to you. Anyway, carry on. Right, welcome back. Well, it is day 13, just to turn into day 14 very shortly, and there was 13 days to finish the autonomous city. This is probably halfway through, realistically speaking. I don't think I've ever gotten past like day 22 or something like that. But there you go. So what's happening? Well, we have another automaton. In fact, we have 2. One of them broke down, which is why it looks like we have 2. We don't actually have 2. One of them was broken down. The steelworks was shut down temporarily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resume the operation for there, and I'm going to put that automaton in there. So you can see that we have 2 automatons in the coal industry, 1 in the steel industry, 1 in the raw food industry, and we need another one for the wood industry. We are here. This is our thingamajigamy. What we are missing at the minute is steam cores, which is the little thing up at the top. So we don't have steam cores, so we can't make a new one. We're out looking for it. I do believe there are some up here. Some of these other places are duds. Broken Tree was a dud. Windswept Snowfield was a dud. Rock Formation was a dud. This was just wood, a bunch of other pieces. So some of these are duds. What you need to know, obviously, is the storm is over here coming this way. So if we want to find things, we want to find things up here first, because these will freeze out quite soon, and then we can carry on, and then there'll be after we trigger the autonomous city, there'll be some stuff over here we need to go and have a look at. So we're gonna go and we're gonna have a look at these out here and see if we can find things, and then we're gonna jump back in. In terms of where we are in the city, it wanted me to build a whole load of medical posts. For some reason it never has done before, and I've just switched them off, so I don't know why it did that. We're treating enough people. We've got the care home working. It's not a drama, so I don't know what the story with that is. That is in fact even a medical post that needs to have a heater on. So we've got 2 medical posts working, which seem to be working just fine, and it wanted me to build 4, which seemed a bit excessive, but I built it anyway. We built the pub, which is great because the pub is awesome. It helps with discontent and hope, and a couple of other things which we'll have a look at in a minute. We've been massaging the raw food and cooked food situation. This is got a heater on, but it's still too cold, so we're running into some difficulties with the extreme cold weather, and I'll talk about that in research in a minute. I am going to have to switch that on, but what I might do is I might wait until we hit that warm patch just after day 14, so I don't have to heat it too much, because I need to be careful about massaging my coal. In terms of the factory, like I said, we can probably switch that off for now, turn the heaters off and halt the operation, because we don't have any steam cores, so until we find some steam cores it won't matter. So I guess that's the other thing, is switch off anything you don't need, right? If people are standing around and it's cold, they run the risk of getting sick. You don't want them to get sick, so switch it off. You don't need heaters. It's not a problem. The people will go and stand in here and wander around and everything else. Yes, their homes are a bit cold. Not a lot I can do about that for right now. We need to switch on to houses. I'm not going to put bunk houses in. We're going to soldier on with research towards houses, and I'm just going to replace it with houses. Five sets of houses when we need it. We'll get to that. I've got 2 sawmills, relatively well staffed with people, keeping the heat on so that they're staying warm, and these are automatons out here. Gotta keep the heaters on the Arks when it starts to get cold, you really do. Even with advanced heaters, which I've got now, you can see with the 2 arrows, or improved heaters, sorry, it's still freezing, and you can't really change that. The next stage to change that would be steam hubs, but steam hubs use steam cores. No, steam hubs use steel, which is fine, but they're not super until we get a little bit more research, so I wouldn't worry them drastically. We've built another resource depot and so on. We're nearly at 3,000 coal, but it's not nearly enough. We're going to have to get a lot more. So we're going to have to get a coal thumper open at some point. But where are we with research? Because we haven't researched coal thumper yet. No. What we have done is we have moved on, upgraded our resource depots. We've got our sawmills and our steelworks and our everything else. We've moved on to drafting machines. We have researched our bunk houses because we need to get the house. We're working on coal mining optimization, obviously, because more coal is always better. I'm thinking about maybe a large resource depot, but I'm not really sure it's worth the effort when there's other things we could be looking at. Heating wise, like I've said, we're on improved heaters. What I'd like to do probably is move on up to mechanical calculators next, which we can do. We just need to finish with coal mining optimization. We don't need automaton scouts. We don't need more scouts. These kind of things we can work at. We're getting resources right now. The sawmill upgrade is fine. It's kind of like an optimization as well to get us more wood. I'd like to, I want to move. I want to try and get onto houses as soon as we can. So I really want mechanical calculators, get onto houses, and then I want to get onto like I said, in terms of heating, get onto advanced heaters, because we're going to need to get to advanced heaters. So that's where I'm kind of trying to get to in a bit of a hurry with the research side of things. In terms of the laws, we've gone all the way over here. Like I said, we've got the pub, we've got moonshine. Moonshine's a good one. Moonshine, every meal lowers discontent, and eating soup causes less discontent, which is awesome. It doesn't cost you anything. It's brilliant. You really got to head over here and get moonshine because it's awesome. And House of Pleasure is awesome because those women who maybe can't find employment elsewhere can certainly find employment as a prostitute, and that lowers discontent, although it does drop hope a bit. But c'est la vie, c'est la vie. So this is all the good stuff over here in terms of hope and discontent. The rest of it, that's it really. I'm not really bothered. At some point we're going to need a cemetery, but we haven't needed it yet. Extra rations for the ill to get the ill quicker, get the ill recovered quicker, hasn't been a necessity. And then triage I don't need. I don't need organ transplants. I've tried that before. We don't need to go into extended shifts because it just annoys people. So essentially that's it. I'm not bothered about laws at this point. When somebody dies, I'll build a cemetery because they'll say, oh, you need a cemetery. Go, okay, fine. I'll build a cemetery, no problem. They're a little bit more hopeful about that than they are about corpse disposal, which is just chucking people in the snowdrift. So this is it. Go over here, build all this stuff. You'll probably be okay for discontent and hope, as long as you stay on top of some of the other requests that come through, like heating homes. I can't heat the homes at the minute because you can't really heat these tents without spending time on research for the hub. In my previous games, I haven't found hub research to be essential or helpful in the long run. It seems to just slow you down. So the key for me is here, bang on straight into the heaters section and get the heaters upgraded as much as possible. We've got a few more days to get to that, so I'm just cracking on with that, and absolutely crack on with the resource research because you need the resource research. So at the minute it's steam cores. We need some steam cores. We need to drive some automatons. And when I finally got a steam core and I come back and I've built the last of the automatons to employ in the wood industry, I will let you know. Right? Jolly good. I'll see you all soon. Right, welcome back. Something has happened. A stranger has arrived from afar, from New Manchester. An exhausted man has reached our city, badly frostbitten, with a harrowing story. He's come from New Manchester, which is inhabited by workers and their families, but they're running out and they're in trouble and the storm is coming. So he arrives here, and for some reason you've got to click this twice. Hooray, we need to do that. And then he comes back again, and you go, yes, okay, he's not well, I get it. And some survivors come with him. Right, so we've now got 50 people. So we've got 50 people, and we've got things to do, which is great because I've just opened a new sawmill. So I'll do that, and I'll do that, and that is working, and that is fine. So that's day 15. So that seems to happen always at day 15, so I don't think that there's a trigger. I haven't finished the autonomous city. You've got 12 days to find New Manchester before the storm. There's 12 days until the storm hits, so everything is triggered from the 12 days. So day 27 is when this storm is going to hit, and you need to be sorted for day 27. So we're boxing on with the coal. We're 3,135, so we're about halfway of where we need to be. We've got 12 days to go. We've been adding in some more resource depots over here. We've got steel on the go. I've got lots of raw food, so we're now making food. So I've got food on the go, which is great because I've got to convert all this raw food into meals for people, because otherwise people are going to start getting hungry. We have depleted that sawmill, moved over there. We've got this sawmill functioning. We've got the steel functioning, which is fine. Out in the wilderness, we went and scattered all these. You pick up 2 steam cores. So these guys have now got 6 steam cores on them. So they've got 6 steam cores. So we're going to quickly dash over here, and we're going to check out the stone ship just ahead of the storm, and then we're going to head back. This is the New Manchester trigger, so we're going to need to head out and trigger all the New Manchester stuff anyway, so we're going to have to get onto that, and then we're going to have to scrabble around. I'm not sure we'll have time to do all of these because they're quite far, and a lot of them have nothing in them anyway. This is where there was a lot of steam cores, which is great. We've got a few things to gather over here, but I think we're probably kind of okay-ish. Like I said, I haven't bothered with laws. Nobody's died yet. So research-wise, we're still working on coal mining optimization, and then we want to get onto mechanical calculators straight after that. I'm not worried about anything else. We have a couple of cold snaps coming. It's been touch and go with these. I've currently got the heaters on, and it's still not quite enough. It's livable, but it's going to be touch and go, so we need to get our advanced heaters sorted to try and keep these alive. And then after that, it'll be steam hubs will be what we'll need, but it's going to be one of the last things we're going to get down to. So it's going to be real touch and go. We're going to get our scouts to that last destination, and then we're going to get them back, and then we're going to build this automaton that we need for the raw food industry. So we're going to the wood industry, so we can swap out one of these for an automaton, and we'll get some more people. We're going to need to get some more coal going with the coal thumper, and some resources and some bits and pieces. We need to get these houses built in here. We need to get New Manchester sorted. We need to ramp up the food production, because we need to get ourselves a fair amount of food, which you don't know about yet, but I do, and we'll get onto that. So there's a little bit to do. So what I think I'll do is I'll soldier on with this, and I will bring you in when we find New Manchester, because for now it's really just trucking on, and I'll bring you in when we get to New Manchester. So hold on tight. Right, well, here we are. Here's New Manchester. 6 days. Oh man. So these places that we scattered out are all now frozen. And this one came available when we scattered out Broken Vehicle, I think. So we've got New Manchester over here. There's just no way. We're not going to get all these done in time. So New Manchester, let's see. It's bigger than ours, far less advanced, and more overcrowded. So here's the dilemma. You have two options. Now, I don't know. There's an exclamation mark there. We'll do our best. Now, I'm assuming that we're supposed to pick this one, right? This is the thing that we're supposed to be picking. So we're going to pick it, and we're going to see, because this is what it is. So anyway, we're going to have to head back somewhere. So here is our new objectives. So preparing for the storm. We got 6 days to prepare for the storm, and it's going to get super cold in preparation for the storm. Build 5 houses. See, I told you they'd come in handy. I've already built the houses. You can see the houses stay warmer, so you get better insulation. So that's fine. So our people are staying warmer, and that's all good. Disband all expeditions. Well, we can do that last minute. That's not a problem. Gather 8,000 coal. Right. Well, we're nearly at 5, which is about as good as I have been for quite some time. But we're probably going to need to get a wriggle on, and I'll talk about research in a minute regarding that. And gather 500 rations. We're at 629 rations and going strong. So I don't think food rations is going to be a drama, but coal, we're still short of coal. Where are we in terms of our research issues? Right. Well, we've got these steam hub things, which if we work on, we can get steam hub range upgrade and possibly steam hub efficiency upgrade. We are currently working on level 4, because this will get us advanced heaters, which I desperately want and need, right? And I haven't done anything with the generator, because the generator won't help the Arks. That's the issue. It might help people close in, but it won't help the Arks, because the Arks are so far out. We'll need to get these going next. So exploration. Now, we have these things which are very useful, which is another thing we need to think on. When you've got the factory and you've moved on, you've got prosthetics, which is great, that'll keep people working, but you've got this streamlined automatons, which means you can make automatons cheaper, so that will help productivity if you get to it in time. And we've got automaton integration, which makes all automatons more efficient. So you probably want to do efficiency first, then cheap for the new ones, and then you've got the automatons get even more efficient, and so on and so forth. But we're never going to get that far. You just realistically speaking, you're never going to get on to level 5. Resources wise, well, we've upgraded the sawmill so that we're getting more stuff going along. I don't think we're going to get the time to build steam sawmills, so I'm not focusing on those. I'm not focusing on the steam coal mine right now. I still haven't researched the coal thumper. This is a maybe, because if we swap the coal mines out, we can produce 600 as opposed to this, which is only doing 240. So I think what I need to do is I need to get this heaters made, and then I need to get the steam coal mines made, but I don't know if we're going to have time. We've only got 6 days. This is as good as it's going to get. I don't think we need to worry about this, and I don't think we need to worry about anything else. So that's as far as that goes. In terms of where we stand currently at the minute, I have all these heaters running because if we turn these down, they become very cold. And I think if they are very cold, yeah, they'll. We'll talk about aid for New Manchester. You start feeling the cold. So I don't want to do that because I need to maximize the duration that we need to survive for, right? So that's what we're talking about now. So here we go. Shelter for New Manchester. So to save New Manchester, we need to gather an additional 600 steel. That's going to be a hard ask with one steel plant. I can build another one, but one steel plant. 600 wood and one automaton. I mean, I think the reality is I don't see how we're going to be able to do that. I just don't. Now, some people might say about research, if I had built 2 workshops, that I could have researched stuff faster. And I tried that during one of my playthroughs, and I didn't actually find that it helped nearly as much as I would have liked. In part because you need 5 people, and because we're short of people for a lot of the game, and because we're trying to scavenge as much resources as possible, I haven't been able to make that work. Now, we're currently making another automaton, which means if we get that automaton made, maybe another steel plant. This one's going flat out anyway. I just think we've got an automaton working here gathering wood, and there's lots of possible wood there. And we've got these people, an automaton here gathering the last of some wood there. So I think if we stick another steel plant on here, and then we have 2 coal, 2 wood, 2 steel, all being run by automatons, that's probably as good as we're going to get, but I don't think we're going to do it in 6 days. I really don't think we're going to do it in 6 days. So what are we to do? What are we to do? Well, what I will do is I am going to box on with this, and I will bring you in if anything notable happens and before the storm hits, to see where we are at. So keep your fingers crossed. We will see how we go. We will see how we fare, and we will see just exactly how much we can really get prepared for this storm ourselves, and if we can save New Manchester into the process. We'll see you soon. Okay, welcome back. Well, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. There's the storm. You can see the storm coming. So all of this stuff is now frozen. New Manchester is down there. I'm at a little bit of a loss with this, and I will tell you why. Because we have our scouts, and we're supposed to be sending 600 steel, 600 wood, and an automaton as a relief expedition to New Manchester. Now, I have 600 wood and 600 steel, and I actually have, as you can see here, 1 idle automaton, and I have absolutely no idea how I'm supposed to get them there, because this expedition building doesn't give me an option other than creating an automaton scout. The relief expedition. No, it's ready. Create new scout. Right, let's go. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Um, he's off. 1 day. Is he too late? Is he too late? Is he going to be too late? Is that going to be the problem? I guess we will wait and see. Anyway, he is off. No, it's definitely gone off our to-do list, so I suspect that's a win. Guess we'll wait and see. In terms of ourselves, we need to disband our expedition. So there's our expedition. There they are, disbanding. Done. The city is ready for the storm. The poor bastards in New Manchester, though. Well, okay, we'll see. And we needed to gather 8,000 coal and 500 food. Well, we have 8,000. Gather enough food for New Man. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There's 3 goals? What's this? Gather 2,000 food rations, 2 automatons in a relief expedition? That's not gonna happen. Are you kidding me? I feel like I should have known about this in advance and that someone should have warned me that this was required. I think New Manchester's goosed, but I don't think we are. So let's see what happens. We've got 20 hours. We have 20 hours to survive all this nonsense. People oppose you. We came here to get with you. We may forgive it. We can't let people in need down. Discontent will rise. Hopeful will fall. Will you spend how much? Not a lot. People are relatively happy here. So there we go. Right. We've got more than enough coal. We've got 18 hours. I'm kind of concerned. Now then, looky here. Down here we have these things, which are our steam hubs. Now, I don't want them to run all day, because they do chew through coal. What I want them to do is I want them to run only between the hours of 8 and 6, because we don't need to keep the Arks heated all of the time. We just need to keep them heated most of the time. So if we have a look here, we'll see that we've got this hub, which, you see how it changes ever so slightly? So there's a very slight heat effect, but not an awful lot, and we've got our heaters. So we're doing as much as we can in that front. From a research perspective, steam hub efficiency could well be next. We've got coal mining optimization, which needs to finish out so that because we might have to crank up the coal usage when the cold hits. So we're going to keep fighting through heating as part of our research when the storm hits, and see if we can survive. There's absolutely not a snowball's chance in hell that Manchester's going to survive. They're just not. 2,000 food and 2 automatons in less than 12 hours just isn't going to happen. So I hope that that's only a secondary objective, because we're just about to hit the cold, and this is 9 hours away, but it's getting colder still right now. Where's the storm? I do not understand. This all looks a little bit strange. We've still got 9 hours. There we go. Coal mining rationalization. So in terms of resources, we're getting as much coal as we can. I mean, in theory, maybe we could automate some of those people, but I don't think we need to. I think what we need to do is we need to get the steam hub efficiency up. I wonder if we can get the generator power upgrade, raise the temperature in all heat zones by 1. And we'll see how we go. Everything's looking a little bit chilly. Heaters are on. Facility is shut down. We've got 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours. 1. Right. We've gathered enough supplies to survive the storm, and everything else has been taken care of. Bad at politics. Is that a win? That looks like it might be a win. We did our best. It is a win. Not for New Manchester, though. I think. Tried to help, but didn't do enough. So we didn't get the New Manchester trophy. Man, that's a lot. 2,000 food? That's a lot. But we did save all the Arks. We did. That's right. We saved all the Arks. Sorry. And there was also a third element to that New Manchester goal, which we never saw because we would have had to complete the other one. That's just asking an awful lot. Really is asking an awful lot. Well, there you go. So that's the end of the Arks scenario. Man, was that a challenge. I can tell you. It took me a few goes to figure out how to do that. And I was right. It's all about the automatons. And it's all about getting the automatons built. It was my assumption that we would have to survive the cold like we had to do in the main story. But we don't actually have to survive the cold. All we have to do is get to that cold scenario. That said, I'm prepared to say that I don't think I shirked at all during that playthrough. I think I hit almost every goal and objective right when I feel like it should have been hit. And I don't think I missed a beat on pretty much anything. And we were still well short of being able to solve New Manchester's problem. So yeah, this game asks an awful lot of you in terms of perfectly hitting objectives to make sure that you get everything won when it needs to be won. So that's the Arks. So we've done the new home. You've just seen the Arks and my at least partial success in dealing with the Arks. So there's 4 more of these. There is the Refugees, the Fall of Winter Home, Last Autumn, and On the Edge. So I will have to go away and pick one of these and give it a playthrough. I've kind of assumed that there's some sort of order for this. It starts with New Home. You've got the Arks, the Refugees, the Fall of Winter Home, the Last Autumn, On the Edge. I don't know anything else about it, so it probably will be the Refugees, which I guess is probably, we can guess where that might realistically be going with that one. So the Refugees will be next. So yeah, whether I get around to this before the new Frostpunk comes out, because I'm very, very keen to get the new Frostpunk out as well. Whether I play the new Frostpunk and this punk simultaneously, I guess remains to be seen. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Pardon me. I hope you're still enjoying it. If you are, please drop a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Please click the bell notification so you can stay tuned for when the next one of these will be coming out. And I will see you all again real soon. Ta-ta for now. PlayStation